I didn't announce it, so I don't know who all will show up, if anybody. In this video, you're just gonna be kind of hanging out with me as I get ready to get ready to leave for Baltimore, Maryland. I'm gonna be doing seminars at the Woodworking shows. I'll be doing that from January through March. So if the Woodworking shows is coming to an area near you, come see me. Anyway, so I'm out here in the new shop. I really needed to check and see if my connection was any good, because I have a remote demo that I'm going to be doing next week, and I'm hoping that the connection out here will hold. So I'm doing that. And Happy New Year, Chili Man. How you doing? Since you're in here, how's the signal? Is the stream okay? Thank you. So like I was saying before, I'm going to be out here getting ready to go do a show out here in the shop, right? So before I get started, I'm going to turn the camera around and I will show you some of the insanity going on in here at the moment. And then I'm going to get, thanks dude. I'm going to be looking at a couple of things here in the shop. So let me figure out how to flip this around. I don't know how to do that yet. I think this does it. Yay. Nope. There we go. All right. So this is the current state of the shop, which is definitely a mess. Now, something exciting in this shot right here is right there. Right there. I got the one half of my mini split put in, which I'm super excited about, right? Something else I want to show you guys. I don't know if any of you have heard or seen anything about this new lathe that I got. This is the Ryon 70-30-40, right? It does some pretty cool stuff. Let's see. Let me see if I can get a better location here. All right. So this video is mostly going to be me probably kind of rambling about a variety of things and trying to make something out of that bowl blank right there. But anyway, come around to this side. So this is the Ryon 70-30-40, right? And the cool thing about this is it actually has double beds. It has two beds. So you got this bed on the bottom and this bed on the top. And the reason why you have that is because even with the top bed closed, you can get about 23 inches of capacity of swing on this lathe. But right here on the control box, this little button right here will allow me to increase the swing and the capacity between centers by just turning this. So when I turn this right here, the bed slides. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. And once you get the bed out, get the bed slid out, in the case that you want to turn something bigger, the banjo actually, I don't know if you can see it from there. Nope. Bring you over here a little bit. The banjo actually can go from here down to here, and there's an extension that we can put in the banjo so that we can still turn bigger stuff, which that is pretty cool. Okay, that's pretty cool. This is the first time I've ever done a live on my phone, so I'm gonna try to keep up with the chat. So just bear with me because I'm definitely not a pro at this. Okay. So I also mentioned that, let's see if I can turn this thing back around real quick. Okay. So I also mentioned that I'm going to be going to I'm going to be doing the woodworking shows. The first one is this weekend in Baltimore, Maryland. And I think the next one is in, oh man, if you check the website, it tells you what the schedule is. But I'll be doing most of them. There'll be 2 that I won't be attending, and I'll get that information out later. Oh, I forgot, going around the shop. Sorry, there was one more. I didn't go around to the back. I got stuck on this cool lathe. So if you turn around, this is the only area in here that I've actually started to organize a little bit. So this is most of my turning stuff. You'll recognize these things from the backdrop in my previous shop. Although I wouldn't mind remaking those out of something nicer. I think I'm just going to leave them alone for nostalgia's sake. Okay. So now getting back to practicing or preparing for my seminar at the Woodworking Shows, I'm going to do a little bit of bowl turning. All right. And so if you guys were wondering how I do the bowl turning stuff, which to be honest with you, I'm not that strong of a bowl turner, but I mean, I can get it done. So let me slide this back over here and let me get started. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off of here. See if I can find my chuck key. I just had it. That's the most frustrating thing about working in the new shop is I haven't got to the point where I can find things. So it's like every task involves a certain amount of looking for something, which is really frustrating. Okay, so I have this mounted to the chuck using a faceplate ring. Okay, and the thing about a faceplate ring is, see if I can find a regular faceplate to talk about. Here we go. So the thing about a faceplate ring anyway. This is a regular standard faceplate. Okay, they look pretty similar. I mean, this one has more holes, but other than that, they're pretty similar. But this one threads directly onto the spindle. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm a chuck. I use a chuck most of the time when I'm turning. So the faceplate ring allows me to mount this, put the ring on the work, and then I can take this and mount it on my chuck. And because these two things are machined, or CNC machined to be a perfect fit, they always fit the same. So if I have to take it off for some reason, I can be assured that when I put it back on, it'll stay true. Unlike if you had a tenon and you put it in a chuck and it crushed the fibers a little bit, and then you go to put it back on the lathe and it doesn't, it typically won't be true again. You'll have to make some adjustments. So let me see. All right, I really wish I could figure out how to make these, figure out how to see the chat. I don't know how. Let's see, live chat. There we go. Maybe that works. Okay. All right, so I can get into this thing now. So let me go back and see. Welcome everybody here. All right. What's up, Andy? Andy Berkey. Good to see you, man. Happy New Year to you as well. And Doug, let's see. How you doing? Hope you guys all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's see. So I don't have long-term impressions on the lathe yet, but I have been using it quite a bit and I'm pretty happy with it. The plan is to do a video, but I got lots of projects going on at the moment. So let's see. You can now, okay. We got lots of projects going on, so I haven't had a chance to do that yet. But and let's see, Anthony Green. This is the Ryon 70-30-40 lathe with the movable bed. Let's see, I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Thanks for checking that for me. I'm glad to hear that the picture looks good on the TV as well. So, oh, let me, I know that this is all over the place. Sorry about that. I guess I'm just really excited to be back on YouTube. Let's see. Would you guys like to see the other side of the shop before I get back to this? And then I get back to that. Let's see. Still trying to figure out this chat thing. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to walk you guys over to the other side. I got to say, I really like this format with doing lives from my phone because I'm not tethered to anything. So I could literally pick this up and walk across the shop. It's really awesome. So on my way over there, let me show you something, share something with you. So you see these carpet tiles right here? Okay. So these I found on Facebook Marketplace. Ignore the big sheet of drywall. I was looking for something softer to stand on in the shop, and I know about the carpet in the shop sounds crazy. I know when Dave Prosciutto did it, I thought he was out of his blinking mind. But I've done a lot of events where I do demos at convention centers and things, and they have this commercial grade carpet right here, these carpet squares. And I was amazed at just how little sawdust these things hold. I mean, they come through after us and sweep the stuff up. So that was really cool, right? And so I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace, right? And he told me that for the amount of money I was spending, I could have all 6 pallets, which I didn't need. So I ended up with these 2. But I'm actually going to put these on the floor. And I don't know. Yeah, there you go. There's a good view of it. So there's all these different patterns and colors and things. And I think that's great because this is my creative space. And I'm really looking forward to putting these down into some kind of crazy pattern for myself. But that's going to make things a lot easier for me because standing on all this concrete is very difficult. So on the other side of the building, I don't have lights yet, but this is where we are progress-wise. This mountain of insulation over here is the rest of what I need to do the exterior walls here and the ceiling, okay? In this corner here, this is the bathroom. It doesn't look like much right now, just a repository for scraps and things, but that's on its way. This is the kitchen area right here. Sorry, it's getting darker. No lights. All right. And this down here is my office. And it's ready for drywall finishing, basically. And I had this really nice picture window added. I got a nice view outside to the back of my house and the neighbors and all that kind of stuff. A little backyard back there, okay? And then coming back out here, this area is going to be the classroom. It's 12, I think it's 18 by 35-ish size-wise, okay? And I did all this work by myself because I don't know anybody here, so I don't really have help. Not a complaint, just a statement. And up here, up top, is my mezzanine for storage, okay? And that is about 12 by 35. And I'm really gonna try hard not to become a hoarder and keep a whole bunch of crap up there. So I'm just gonna try to use it sparingly as storage. Okay, so, and so that's that side. Up here is the entrance to the mezzanine. I'm gonna have a fixed ladder that's gonna allow me access to it. I was gonna do a staircase, but the problem with the staircase is they eat up too much room out here. It'll take up, I'd probably be, 7 or 8 feet out from the wall, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna do like a fixed low incline ladder with some storage underneath. And then I got lots of plywood. I got most of that on sale at Home Depot for like 70% off. So I paid like, I don't know, it's like $13 for a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, believe it or not, in this day and age. I'm gonna put a double door right here to separate the 2 sides. The mini split that I showed you earlier is for the shop side. There'll be a second one on the classroom side, so that I can control those separately. And back here in the corner, this is my utility area back there where all the electrical is. It look a little crazy and scary, but don't worry. These wires up here, they're not hooked up. They're just, I've made all the runs back, but until I get the drywall done, I can't put the outlets in, so I'm not going to hook any of that stuff up yet. So, yeah. So, all right, all over the place. So I'm going to go back over to the lathe, and we're going to try to make some sense out of this here bowl blank real quick. See what I can do with that. So I do need to go and find, sorry about moving the camera around so much, but I do need to go and find my calipers real quick, and they're somewhere in this area. Oh, one more. I know I keep saying that. One more thing. So this right here, guys, I don't know if you've heard about this, but this is the Nova Neptune. So Nova has, you know, if you follow me for any time, you know that I do love the Nova DVR motors, okay? So I was fortunate enough to get my hands on one of these Neptune lathes, okay? And this is really cool because it's a MIDI lathe, but it's using a 1.5 horsepower DVR motor. If you've ever used a Nova lathe before, you know how cool that is. It's not really like a motor. It doesn't have windings. It's all run based off opposing magnets. Don't put too much weight on my technical explanations because I'm a wood turner, not an engineer, okay? But I'm going to talk about a couple of the cool features about this thing, right? So I know this is starting to sound like a commercial, but I have been dying to get back on YouTube and, you know, share some things, some new things in the shop. And today I just decided I'm just going to go for it because I've had every reason in the world and every excuse I've used to keep myself from getting back on here, but I'm on here today. So anyway, the DVR, right? It's this spindle is actually the shaft of the motor. So there's no belts, all right? So I can go from as low as 50 RPM all the way up to, I think it's 3,500 RPMs via this knob right here. No change in belts, okay? No compromises over speed versus torque. You get the same amount of torque through the entire speed range, okay? And it's got all kinds of other smart things on it. I'm gonna try to do some kind. I have to do some kind of video on it later, but it's got things like catch detection. It even has a computer on here that tells you can put in what size bowl you want to turn it. It'll tell you what speed to put it on. And it's got some things for unbalanced loads, and it's really it's really smart. But the thing that I love about it the most is you have presets as well. So you can go here, function, right? And you can go to presets, right? That first preset is set at 250, right? So if I wanted to change it, because mine, I would set it at 500 for my first preset for sanding, because I like to sand at 500. And then you hold this. It's supposed to beep. Oh no, sorry, this one. There we go. So now if I want to go, so I'm at, 1300 to turn, and I want to do some sanding, right? Instead of having to use the knob to go back, I just hit function, okay? Preset 1, okay? I'm back at 500, okay? Now if I wanted to use one of the other presets, right? I go into the preset menu and then go to 2. I don't know what it's set at. I haven't done that yet, but hit that. Oh, that one's 200. So there's 4 presets on here. So we got, let's see what 3 is. 3 is 750, and then it'll ramp up to 750. So if you have set speeds that you like to work at, this is going to give you the opportunity to set up those favorite speeds, and that's really nice because I have several other lathes that I've used, both in my shop and on the road. And the thing about most variable speed lathes is, you have to play with the dial. You have to go past the speed you want and kind of creep back and then back and then back and try to narrow it down if you want something specific. So with the DVRs, I just dial in exactly the speed I need. It's great. All right, a couple other things. This has a 15-inch swing over bed. The head does swivel and slide. So you can unlock this, and you slide, you swivel. That's going to enable you to, the swiveling feature will enable you to do something a little bit bigger than 15 inches without having to invest in an outrigger or anything like that. Even though there is an outrigger available for it, this lathe has been set up to kind of grow with you. So anyway, enough of that. All right, back to the bowl. Now, let me go find this caliper and we'll get to work. Okay. So I found the calipers, all right? So the first thing I'm gonna do, you know, a bunch of you guys probably already know how to turn bowls, so this isn't really an exciting presentation for you maybe, but I'm gonna go through the steps anyway because I need to kind of time it and see. I need to hit like an hour or so for the presentations at the show. So I'm gonna do a couple of little quick things here in the shop. I'm gonna do this one while I'm doing this live. But anyway, what I'm basically doing here is I'm taking these dividers, right? Not calipers, dividers. And I'm gonna set that up to the size of the jaws, okay? Now, I'm gonna use a mortise for this bowl, so that's why I'm measuring the outside, okay? If I was doing a tenon, I would measure on the inside. So now that I have that, and this is another place where it's really, the faceplate's kind of nice because, you know, if I had used a worm screw or something to put this on here, I would have had to screw it off. But because I used the faceplate ring, all I have to do is close up the jaws a little bit, tighten it up, I'm good to go. Because a lot of times I mount a piece of wood on the lathe and I forget to take that measurement of the jaws first so that I can make the marks for the mortise. So what we want to do, okay, is we want to use this. Now, on the front side, this leg right here is going to be working on the front side. When I say front, I mean in relation to the center here, okay? In the back, the material's going up. So if this one contacts, it will swing this way, and that's bad. That's exciting in a really bad way. You don't want that, okay? So what you do is you use this side to mark with and this side to verify. So you just get close with the back side. And I want this to go as slow as I can. So just in case things go wrong, you know, I've done this lots of times, it won't, but just in case, it won't be as bad. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, let's see where maybe I can get a little tighter here. Get a little closer on this. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna bring it over to the work, and I'm gonna let this leg right here go ahead and start making a mark. Okay, and then I'm gonna visually take a look. Okay, and that got me pretty much where I want to be. So that's going to be the mortise, the size of the mortise that I'm going to need to reverse mount this and put it in the truck. Okay. All right, let's put this away and grab my bowl gouge. Check. All right, turn this off real quick. All right, get myself situated. All right. Believe it or not, I have really not had much turning. I've not done much turning since I moved up here because these days I'm wearing my construction hat more than my wood turner hat because working on the building. So, let's see if I missed anything in the chat. All right. Okay, welcome to anybody all the folks who've come since the last time I checked the chat. Let's see. Let me go back. I see a couple of questions here. Let's see. Fearsome Warrior says woodworking is hoarding adjacent. I would say that's very true. Let's see. I have a question. Is the motor upgrade that PSI has worth the money? They're asking. Let's see. I don't know how much they're asking. So I wouldn't know on that one. And I'm making, Tapswood asked what I'm making. I'm going to make a bowl. And Fearsome Warrior asked for a suggestion for a turning smock. I have to say that this Robert Sorby one is really nice. If you don't, let's see, this one's really nice, but it's a little thick, so it can be a little warm. But it's a really nice one, and I like it. It's got some like pockets. I don't even know if I'm in the frame for this, but it's got pockets on the shoulder and things like that. I don't know exactly what constitutes a good one, but this is the nicest one I've ever had, so I would highly recommend that one. Let's see. $189. Okay. I don't know. Seems like you could probably get a good quality. You could probably get a used lathe probably around that price, couldn't you? Or a little more. Horizontal surfaces are workspaces, not store spaces. All right. Yeah. So the horizontal spaces in here are supposed to be workspaces, but I don't have enough of them. I don't know if you noticed, but my miter saw bench under the mini split is disassembled at the moment because I had to take it down so that I could put in the mini split priorities. Okay. So back to this thing. So I got my mortise set up. I'm going to leave a pretty generous foot on here. And I'm going to start. Got my face shield because you got to be safe. Okay. Got my speed up to about 1500. And we're going to start taking some of these corners off. I also have a pretty nasty split, I think. I have a pretty bad split right here at the top. See if I can find it. But I'm going to try. Oops. Ooh, that zoomed in way too much. All right. So I have a pretty bad split right there. I'm going to try to get rid of that. I probably just turn most of the bowl, and then I'll probably try to turn most of the bowl and then get fix it once I flip it over. Just trying to get you guys a better view of the action here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start taking some of this corner off and try to work my way up to the top so I can see just how bad that crack is. Probably just true it up. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look. Take a quick look and see how bad that thing is. It's not looking great. Now, not at all. Okay. So I have to keep an eye on that. I might just take the diameter down a bit and see if I can't get rid of it. So definitely want to have. So this kind of thing right here, right, can be problematic. So you definitely want to make sure you want to wear a face shield anyway, but especially if you're working with something like this. And I don't recommend it. I don't recommend, specifically turning stuff that has cracks in it. I've been doing it for a while, so I feel pretty good about moving forward. So I'm going to continue with it, but don't do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing. I'm trying to get rid of that by turning what would be considered like a closed form where the top of the bowl is going to curve back in, and see if I can do it that way versus just getting rid of a whole bunch of material. But if that's what it calls for, then that's what it calls for, because this thing is definitely kind of sketch. Where we're at. Okay. Hopefully I don't have to turn this into a coin dish just to save it. Looks like we're getting down towards the bottom of the middle of this crack. So if you're looking at this crack right here, so it's still pretty gnarly right there, but it doesn't go all the way to the edge, so I'm okay with that. And then it continues here, and originally it came all the way around to this point right here, and this is a problem. Okay, but it seems like I'm getting down to the bottom of it. All right, so it's interrupted here in the middle with some solid material, so that's promising right there. So I'm going to keep on working on it. I'm going to bring the camera over this way. Maybe you guys get a little different, try to get you a little different view without getting in my way and making it a safety issue. Okay, so let's do this. Maybe see if this thing will let me zoom out a bit. There we go. Oops. All right, let's see. Let me see, what did I miss? All right. Yeah. See, fear some sort of cross, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get in here and do some turning without knocking the camera over. And if that doesn't work, then I'll try moving it back a little bit and let's see, go up a little, maybe move it back just a little bit. See if that works. Yeah, that should work. Ignore the garbage can over there. Okay. So let's, well, I guess what I'm going to try to do is, so I got a pretty good curve going that way. So I think I'm going to try to start some kind of blending of a shape into the bottom and getting rid of some of the section material here. So you can come right here, start getting rid of a little bit of this. Okay, then I'm gonna come back over here, start working on this split. Okay. So I'm not super worried about cut quality at the moment. This is all like roughing stuff. This area right here is a little interesting. You got lots of cracks in there. So it looks like this section's good. That section's still bad, but I'm not worried about that. I gotta try to get rid of this because that keeps making my bowl get smaller. Let's see. You might be wondering, turn this off for a minute. You might be wondering why I didn't set this up as the bottom and this side up as the top, because it'd have been pretty easy to cut this off in the curvature of the bottom of the bowl. But this particular blank actually had a hole in the middle. I think we used it at a demo to make a little stand for a tool rest. So we just bored a hole in it. So it had a hole in that side already, so it wouldn't make it wouldn't exactly make a good bottom. So, you know, we just working with things the way they're presented. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Man, that thing is deep. That is one deep crack. All right. Gotta keep doing it. Nice thing I can use all these shavings for kindling for my fire pit. Yep, might be getting there. Have to go touch up my tools here in a minute. All right. Hoping my shoulder's not in the way. Okay, I think we've gotten rid of enough of it. Yeah, I think we got rid of enough of it to be able to work this out. And I'm actually kind of digging this profile on this blank here. Let's see. Let me bring you around so you can see it. So, kind of digging this profile. It's a little bit of a closed form. I don't think this view is really doing it justice, but kind of digging it. So I'll move you guys back over here, and I'm gonna do a few more cuts to get the bottom of this thing in order, and then we'll put a mortise on it so we can turn it around. All right. So. All right. Now roll this over a little bit more. Same thing down here. Get rid of these square bits and rectangular bits in the profile. Start bringing this around. Okay. Need to go and sharpen my tools here. Okay. All right. So now let's come over to the sharpener. Man, I'm really loving this mobile format. Really loving having my camera be my phone, untethered from wires and such. So this is the Robert Sorby Pro Edge. This is what I prefer to use to sharpen my turning tools. Shift a few things around here. Okay, so this is how we do our gouges. This is the fingernail boss. Slides on right there. And we slip our gouge right through the holder here, okay? And then this is the Pro Set, which can't really see that, but this is the Pro Set. This is going to set the protrusion of the tool. Okay, this is going to set the protrusion of your tool. So I use a 45-degree nose and wing angle. The wing angle isn't really all that important in this particular part of sharpening, but if you were going to shape a tool this way, or you had to reshape a tool or to fix something, then it's good to know that's 45 degrees. But right now we just need to know that the nose is 45 degrees. So we're going to set that up right here at the 45-degree indicator. And we're going to loosen this and slide the holder up until it butts up to the side of the Pro set here. Tighten that down so that sets our protrusion, okay? So it's really, there's really only a couple of settings here. Let's see if I can find it. So if you wanted a grind that's more like swept back like this, okay? Something more akin to an Ellsworth, all right? You would also need the long grind adapter, or the long grind jig, okay? And these two additional holes allow you to do more swept back profile on the wings of your gouges. Okay, so we got that selected. I use a 120 belt. I don't spend a whole lot of time fussing over how fine of an abrasive I use to sharpen my bowl gouges, because let's face it, in an average 10 or 12 inch bowl, you cut about 9 miles of wood. So you're cutting 9 miles of wood, you're gonna have to keep sharpening it. So why spend the time fretting over it? Just get it sharp. And I find that 120 grit produces a plenty sharp edge. So whenever you're sharpening your gouges, you want to think of it in 3 steps. Wing 1, wing 2, the nose, okay? So what I'm going to do is come up. I'm going to start with this wing here, okay? I'm going to come around to the other side. I'll do the other one, okay? And then I'm going to do the nose, all right? And then I'm going to do the whole thing twice to blend them together, okay? Boom. Okay. The reason why on here I have a couple of extra facets, I guess. I don't know if they'll show up on the camera or not, but that's the reason why, is because I took this on the road with me somewhere and I used somebody else's sharpener, and it changed the heel portion just a little bit. All right. But here's something else to know too. When you're sharpening your tools, okay, don't worry about the bevel. Okay, so if you got more than one facet down here, as long as you're sharpening where the bevel meets the flute, right, that's all you need to do. So if the bevel looks a little wonky, don't worry about it, because in subsequent sharpenings, okay, you're going to go ahead and clean that up. Okay, that's why it's important to have a system like the Pro Edge, so that you get a consistent sharpening every time. So after a couple of sharpenings, that will go back to being one facet, right? And continuing to sharpen it just so that the whole bevel looks the same, is really just wasting steel and shortening the lifetime of your tool. Okay, so let's come back over here. I don't think I'm gonna finish this whole thing today. I just mostly the point of getting on here was just, sorry about the camera placement, was really about getting back on YouTube, because I have been a slacker for the last 1.5 years, and I want to get back on here and do some stuff and share some things with you guys. Anyway, so I got my tool nice and sharp now, so I can go back and I can clean up some of this foolishness around here. So let's get this thing moving. All right. The other reason why I probably won't finish it is because I got to start packing my tools up and things up for the presentations that I'm going to be doing over the weekend. So, and I'm just running out of time. So let's go ahead and try to clean this up a bit. Yeah, that's cutting a whole lot better. Okay. Getting a much nicer shaving off of there. All right. So you can see that's a pretty significant increase, all right, in cut quality just by sharpening my tools. Okay. Now, something else, if you're having a hard time you're having a hard time getting a surface really nice, the easiest thing you can do is just slow down, right? Just make your cut slower and give the tool time to do the work, right? Because a lot of people try to race through the cut, you know, and then you end up with a really, you end up with a poor cut because you didn't give that tool long enough to do its job, right? So instead of severing the fibers, you're actually ripping them out. So if you're having trouble, slow down, okay? Now, for those of you who like to use carbide, I'm going to show you something as far as, you know, cleaning up cuts, okay? So let's stop the lathe for a second. All right, I'll take a look at what I got. So I've gotten rid of most of the tear out, okay? So I got a pretty good surface here, but I'm going to grab a carbide tool, sort of. Okay. This right here is the Robert Sorby Turnmaster, okay? Now, it is actually not a carbide tool, although it might look like one, okay? This cutter is actually high-speed steel. And if you've been following me for a while, you've probably heard me talk about this a little bit. I'm actually working on a video for this tool right here. But this cutter is actually high-speed steel. It's nice because it's easy to sharpen. And high-speed steel is a smaller metal molecule, so it can come to a sharper edge than carbide ever could, okay? Now, the reason why I pulled this out is because I want to talk about finish cuts, okay? So here's the thing. If you use carbide tools, then you know it's basically a scraper, okay? And it's not notorious for a really nice finish, okay, on the cuts. So something that you can do, whether it's the Turnmaster or an Easy Wood tool or whatever carbide tool you got, right? Something that you can do that can improve your cut quality, all right, is you can do what's called a shear cut. Now, this tool makes it very easy because it's got indents cut into the end of the bar there, okay? So I can present it flat like your typical tool, or I can present it 45 degrees in either direction, all right, while referencing this wide flat here, all right? I'm gonna show you what that does, okay? So this is a finish cut. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit tighter, all right, on this, okay? Okay, so this right here is gonna be a finish cut. So what that means is we're not looking to take off a lot of material, okay, and a pass, all right, and we're trying to clean stuff up, okay? So we got a little bit of tear out here in the middle from the rough cuts that I was making. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply the tool. Now this cutter is at 45 degrees because the tool allows me to do that. Wait, what happened? Oh, I need to change the view a little bit. That's a little too tight. Okay, all right, that's better. Okay, so we can kind of see now. All right, so the tool, because I made that adjustment, this cutter is now presented at 45 degrees, okay? You could easily do this with a regular carbide tool just by balancing it on the corner, which can be a little tricky, right? Because there's some geometry that we're gonna have to focus on in order to make this work, okay? So what I'm gonna do is when I apply this to the work to cut, I wanna make sure that I'm applying it at a little bit less than 90 degrees, okay? So this would be going 90 degrees at the work, all right? I'm gonna present it at a little bit less than 90, all right? And then I'm gonna cut on center and I'm gonna bring that around, maintaining that less than 90 degree presentation. And you're gonna see that I'm gonna get a different kind of shavings, okay? So come in a little bit less than 90. All right, bring that around. Now I'm gonna go in here and see if I can catch a couple of these shavings, so I can show you that it's not dust. Okay. See what we're getting there? Those are stringy shavings. Okay, it's not dust. So let's turn this off and take a look. Now I know that I had already cleaned this up, but if what I'm saying didn't work, then it would be worse than it was already. But you can see this is the area where I cut, and that looks pretty good, right? Now there's a couple of little lines in here. That's just because I made one cut and then I came back and I made a partial cut to show you the shavings. But this right here absolutely will work and will give you a better cut, a better finish cut on your work. Now on these outside curves, you'd be better off really with a square cutter, but you know, this is what I had chucked up, so that's what I brought out to use. Okay. See, and you got a nice clean cut. All right. It may not be perfect, but it's going to be better than going at it regular. Okay. So let me flip this around. Okay. So, all right. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to finish this one. I promise the next time I do a live, we're going to, sorry, got face shield hair again. Next time I do a live, we're going to complete the project. This was really just a test, and thank you guys for joining me. Thank you folks for joining me in the shop today while I ramble as I get ready to hit the road. So thanks for coming. I hope that 2024 is going to bring a lot more content to this channel, a lot more content in general. I'm going to be doing some things, partnering up with other companies like Nova and Robert Sorby. But hopefully, I'm planning on doing more Dreadnought woodshop. So yeah, stay tuned. And I guess if you're going to be in the Baltimore, Maryland area this weekend, please stop by and see me. I'll be doing seminars. I'll be doing 3 a day. I'll be doing one seminar on spindle turning, which will be, I'll be making one of those textured and colorized spinning tops. And I'll be doing a lidded box, and I'll be doing a bowl. And I'll be doing those 3 seminars every day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, for the next 12 weeks in various locations. So check the woodworkingshows.com. Come out, and we're going to have, if it's anything like it's been in the past, there's going to be great deals to be had from other woodworking vendors. There's going to be lots of educational opportunities, seminars such as the ones that I'm providing, and others. Okay. So thanks for joining me in the shop. Remember, Dreadnought, make something. Peace. Yeah, that should have been a smoother exit, but I didn't know how to turn it off.